Better Call Saul Season 6 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you are caught up to the point where I am and rewatching or watching Better Call Saul, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description for you. If that happens to be the case and you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. I'm a huge fan of Breaking Bad. I've watched that entire series probably 10 times. I just watched Better Call Saul for the first time within the last month. I binged the whole series in about 3 weeks. This is the last episode I have to watch before I'm caught up to new episodes. So finally got there. Didn't take me long at all, but I was wondering if I would ever get a chance to watch Better Call Saul just because the motivation wasn't there. But anyway, this would be Better Call Saul Season 6, Episode 4. Title of this episode is called Hidden Run. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. So we start off seeing a couple riding bikes, and they're not very happy that a house on the block, I should say, is being painted red. In fact, they think that's atrocious. So they go into a house where there's a bunch of video surveillance going on, a bunch of tech people in there. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Of course, we find out later in the episode. Howard talks to his therapist, I think, of sorts. And then we see Jimmy / Saul dressed to look like Howard. He takes Howard's car and drives off with it. As, of course, they made a key and an alarm pad in the previous episode with Huel's help. Jimmy picks up Wendy from the Crosswoods Motel. Of course, Wendy was in Breaking Bad. It was the prostitute that helped Jesse out, and she actually had to get interrogated by Hank. Wendy is an awesome character. Doesn't get used a lot, but it's good to see her in Better Call Saul. Kim has a lunch date with Cliff Main. Of course, Cliff being the person that was Jimmy's boss back in earlier seasons that had to fire Jimmy and said you could keep your money. And then during that meeting, Jimmy drives right by them, and kicks Wendy out of Howard's car so Cliff Main can see this all go down. So he thinks that it's Howard because it's in his car. Same license plate, kicking a hooker out of his car. And he's planted something that looks like cocaine in his locker for Cliff Main to see. So all these things are starting to add up for Cliff. And Jimmy is able to get Howard's car back just in the nick of time. But somebody had parked in the spot that he put a cone in front of. So he has to lift up this parking sign and put it in the other spot next to it. And Howard comes out just at the last second. So Jimmy got away, or Saul got away, whatever you want to call him. And then Howard drives away in his car, and then the sign falls over as soon as he pulls out of the spot. So it worked. Howard doesn't suspect a thing. And then, of course, somebody is following Kim. And Kim tells Jimmy she's being followed. And then Jimmy goes to the courthouse, and everybody's being very short with him, not giving him any leeway, making him do things going the full route, no shortcuts at all. And he's told it's due to him getting a cartel member off and back on the streets. And then Kim was at the El Camino dining room. I guess they're trying to give an Easter egg to El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. And she goes outside as the same vehicle is outside, and she confronts the people in the car and says she's going to call in their plates because she feels threatened. And they said, no need to do that. We'll leave. Sorry we bothered you. Jimmy / Saul gets a bunch of appointments at the nail salon. Spooge from Breaking Bad, the one that kept calling his girlfriend a skank. That's still the ATM. He's in this episode as well. He has an appointment with Saul Goodman. The episode, I think, was Peekaboo. And says that he's the Salamanca guy. That's why they want him. He got Lalo Salamanca off, and he can get them off too. And then Mike is at the diner and wants to talk with Kim. Mike tells Kim he's been watching Kim and Jimmy. He says he's trying to solve a problem of his own. Lalo Salamanca, he was supposed to be dead, but apparently he's not dead is what he says. And then Kim remembers him as the attendant at the parking booth at the courthouse. And then we see Gus Fring go home, and we see that he has a bulletproof vest on, and he goes downstairs, and there's actually a secret passage in his house, and that's the house where all the surveillance and everything is going on. So that was a reveal of itself. I don't know how big the house is and what room it is, but that's where everything was going on. But Mike, he's thinking that Lalo Salamanca is dead, and reiterates that, or I should say, Gus reiterates that Lalo Salamanca is alive based off of how Hector was acting. And then Jimmy slash Saul, whatever you want to call him, shows Kim a new office potentially, which of course is the office that's in Breaking Bad for Saul Goodman. Kim says it's small, dirty, and it smells. However, it might be a diamond in the rough, as it's kind of in a good location. It's close to a bunch of places they need to go to, such as the courthouse. And then they decide to go get food, and that's how the episode ends. So, nothing too special here. Of course, the last episode, really good episode. Rest in peace, Nacho. This one, a little bit more calm, but I still liked it. There was some development. I like Mike, even though he didn't have a lot to do in this episode. Interesting reveal with Gus and how his house is and all that. I'm going to score the episode at 8.6 out of 10. And I'm going to give the character of the episode to Kim Wexler, just because of how she realized that people were following her, and then she saw the car outside the diner and then went out and confronted them about it. I think that's memorable enough. It could go to anybody, really. If I don't, of course, give it to Saul Goodman or Jimmy, whatever you want to call him, because he would probably be the character of the episode most of the time. But we'll give it to Kim this time. So you've heard what I have to say. Now, of course, it's your turn. If you're a fan of Better Call Saul, or if you're a fan of Breaking Bad or The Walking Dead, Dexter, New Blood, Ozark, Lost, Big Bang Theory, or anything else that I've covered on my channel, such as UFC live fight reactions, or if you just want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, make sure you smash that like button. I'll wait. Share this video with whomever you want, or any of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Better Call Saul. What would you rate it out of 10? And who would you pick as your character of the episode? We're all going to disagree. That's fine. There's no right or wrong answer. That's the good thing about this. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're already watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel. Join the team. Show your damn support and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.